Welcome back to the W.U.B. Wake Up Belize Morning Vibes, Thursday morning, traffic time. It's been a lot of traffic, and we have one final slate of guests to introduce to you this morning. We're going to give a little bit extra time because transition took up a monk at a time, so we have to get in and leave over time. We can't cut short the DFC time like that. So let me introduce the three guests that we have here in studios. We have Rolando Thompson, he's the branch manager of Belize District, DFC.
Good morning
and welcome, sir.
Good morning, good morning.
And then we have invited along with the DFC folks this morning, the marketing director of BELTRAIDE, Jamil, Loskot. Good morning, sir.
Good morning.
And then we have Mr. Norman Garcia, who is the manager, marketing and communications at the DFC. Good morning, sir.
Good morning.
The DFC is celebrating 51 years, so it's a celebration time for DFC.
That's right.
And I guess you're here to remind our listeners and viewers and Belizeans overall about what the DFC does and what's available there.
Yeah.
All right, talk to us about the DFC right now at 51.
All right.
Mature.
And we have, and it's getting better. So far, I mean, we could say that since 2009, things have been pretty good for the Development Finance Corporation, and we keep growing. And I think a great part of it is that we listen to our public. We've been listening and we've been making the adjustments here and there. And a couple of the things that will happen, I mean, Friday is our big day. Actually, the date is Saturday, the 27th is actually the date, but we celebrate it on Friday. And we are looking to, we're having a Customer Appreciation Day, which is countrywide. We have 6 offices, and so within every office in Belize, we'll be doing this. However, we wanted to highlight today some of the things that will be showing up, and some of it is in one of the reasons Mr. Loskot is here with us, is representing BELTRAIDE. BELTRAIDE happens to be one of our close working partners in terms of giving technical assistance to our clients. And it works both ways, where they refer their clients to us, or the client to us after training, or we refer the client to them. They also are very big on doing business planning with a lot of the clients. Jamil will talk a little bit more about that. And also we have an easy pay system, which is coming on stream. We're moving up.
What do you mean by easy pay?
Easy pay as in you can actually make payments online.
Okay.
Right? I have Mr. Thompson talk a little bit more about that as well. And we've been making some adjustments in our lending guidelines. So with flexibility with more flexibility with repayment terms, and also with our interest rates, right? And even some of the capacity in terms of the amounts that you can borrow.
All right. Who's going to fill in the blanks with those? You, Mr. Thompson?
Well, we'll
everybody's going to share the load.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. All right. So let's talk a little bit more about what's available at the DFC, where its emphasis are located right now.
Okay. We have gone through a period where we're constantly changing. As Norman said, the public is requesting it. So in terms of the focus, we're more looking at the productive sector loans, right? Since I believe 2 or 3 years ago, we were mandated with providing micro sector loans, and that has been a big spike has come about of that. No, as a matter of fact, I believe the last time I checked, we had about 1,300 SMEs. No. But in addition to that, we also want to focus on the sectors such as manufacturing. That's where we really could see the economy moving forward, impacting the economy, that so to speak. No, we have a couple of clients that we are targeting in that sector. Tourism is another big sector. We want to make trails in that sector as well. No. So those are the major sectors. Education, we look at education as well. Recently, we've expanded the loan size in terms of, first we used to lend only 60,000, now we're up to $100,000. No? For international study, right?
Okay.
As you know, studying abroad is very costly, especially in the US, in the UK, that sort of thing. So we realized that, and we've gone ahead and increased the loan amount that can be afforded to students.
All right. Do we find the clients are keeping up, as the DFC has basically was once in the ICU, and then it has basically recovered, and it's starting to make these steps since 2009. But have the clients as well, have they been performing? Have
Yes.
the respective portfolios been performing?
Yes, definitely. About a year ago, we took a decision whereby we will separate the credit delivery from the credit administration. So we find that there's a whole department now that deals only with monitoring accounts, collecting, and it's functioning. It's more efficient that way, because you will find that not only in terms of the collection, but if a businessman is facing a little problem with his business, they can go out there, they have all the time to dedicate to that person and offer the kind of payment plan that will help that client to come out of that, maybe a little cash flow problem or that sort of thing. In the beginning, when it was combined, you find that the credit officer kind of stretches himself thin, processing loans and looking at his portfolios, right?
Yeah,
so that posed a problem for us. So we have addressed that, and we find that has been more efficient. Okay.
BELTRAIDE is a strategic partner to the DFC, really enabling clients to have to be better prepared and to be more effective. You find, at least from the BELTRAIDE standpoint, that this marriage has really improved its quality?
Before I actually go into answering your question, I want to explain the 4 technical units of BELTRAIDE. You have Belize Invest, which deals all the major investments into the country. You have Export Belize, which are all exportable goods and services. SBDC Belize, which is for small business development, which works so well with DFC. And of course, our new unit, which is BTEC, Belize Training and Employment Center. Going back to your question in that relationship, having that collaboration with SBDC Belize and DFC actually shows the maturity, the development, that growth in the business for our entrepreneurs and our clients. Having, like what Norman said, SBDC Belize works along with the clients, and this goes vice versa, their clients, our clients. Having us work along with them in generating their business plans, in generating all the paperwork that they will need to see the loans officer at DFC. This actually speeds up the process and making it so very quickly for them.
All right. Also, I think Mr. Garcia mentioned about even post access to capital, really still consulting and offering advice to clients as they move forward.
What we try to let people understand is SBDC Belize is always there. Now, once you become a client of SBDC Belize, you're a client for life. Meaning that once you start with just the initial idea of that business, we will work along with you until you get to export readiness, and then you move on to the other unit of BELTRAIDE, which is Export Belize.
Explain to me what the data indicates. There've been increased requests, applications.
Well, because of the microsector is quite large, and what we've been finding is that many of the clients will look at things like record keeping, marketing. Those are some of the areas, and those are like very important areas when you want to see quality, a quality business, responsible borrowing, accountability. Those are things that really lend to the microsector, especially which complements the overall productive sector. And so we've been having, growth as it is. A couple of the clients who are coming to spend the day with us to display their products and services are actually clients of BELTRAIDE, of SBDC, right? But it has been growing.
Do you find that people are generally comfortable going to the DFC, or do you think that there's still a sense of maybe intimidation in going to DFC? Do you think that there's been that the potential developers, business people, whether small or tourism, agriculture, do you find that they are seeing the DFC as being a place that's attractive for them? Is that the general sense that you all are getting?
Based on our studies, when we looked at satisfaction, we were at 85%.
Okay.
So that speaks in and of itself. Also, we've been making a lot of efforts in the last year in terms of a lot of direct marketing, and I think that has also really contributed a lot in terms of public relation or public awareness, where the clients are able to feel more comfortable coming to us. And I think also that a lot of what has helped in that direct marketing aspect is our involvement with various fairs. The conversation starts outside and then it comes to the office. So I would dare to say that many more people are feeling more comfortable about DFC. Yeah. I think our image has really turned around. I think Jamil was...
Yes, if I can jump in here, talking about the comfort level for the clients, from the testimonials that we have gathered, it's showing that they're more comfortable now, especially because we help them to develop the information that DFC is requiring. So getting that information first, getting them to understand, getting everything packaged in ready for them to go to DFC.
I must say, I've never seen BELTRAIDE more active than it has been recently. I think there's definitely been an uptick, significant uptick in the level of how much BELTRAIDE is out there. I think BELTRAIDE was a secret for too long, and people didn't even know how to contact BELTRAIDE. I think BELTRAIDE has been coming out, so I have to acknowledge that. But I still see, and I still encounter people who I would observe and say, you know what, this person has a good idea. I had a lady come here and she was doing organic skin stuff, and I thought, okay, so I was looking at it and I said to her, you know that you seem you got a good thing going here, but your packaging is lousy. I said, you know that BELTRAIDE can help you. I said, and you know, you seem as if though this person is an ideal client that can benefit from DFC and from BELTRAIDE, but she didn't have any idea about that. And you still meet some clients who might have a good idea, but they don't believe that they could handle all the different paperwork and all that stuff, and go to DFC and get fun. They don't believe that they have a winner. And I think that's a problem, that you have people who have a winner in their hands, but they don't believe it, and they stay at such a size that it makes it easy for them to be eaten up, because when somebody else identifies that area and goes into it and then accesses financing, gets the help from BELTRAIDE, then they are wasted away.
That's very true.
I think it's an area where
I think that's DFC recognizes that there are a lot of clients in that same situation, and thus the collaboration with BELTRAIDE and DFC. In addition to that, Norman mentioned direct marketing. Here in the Belize district, what my branch has been doing is going out in the rural areas, rural Belize, and actually holding presentation, actually taking applications, and we do find people saying, well, I didn't know about DFC, DFC doing this type of loan, you know. So indeed the awareness has to be built up, and we're trying to do that.
A lot of it is hand-holding, and I think it's cultural, where you lead people in the right way. And between both organizations, I mean, when you take the client and you say, guess what, you have a great idea, let's develop this idea. And so BELTRAIDE starts off and they move us. And this is why they will become more comfortable by the time they get to DFC. So the financing part, not so easy.
They are,
Right.
SBDC is aware of all of our requirements, so when they go there, they do their training and they put together the business plan. By the time they reach DFC, the process is much smoother.
Yeah.
What we want to mention as well in our MOU that we've signed with DFC is making SBDC advisors available. So at the different DFC branches, we have a schedule where our advisors will go there.
No, I was just looking through some of the brochures here, and I was looking at the productive sector loans and about some of the things which, I wasn't even aware that, for example, that you had grace period, that you can have grace periods of up to 5 years. Tell me something, tell the listeners and viewers something that you think maybe they don't know about DFC and BELTRAIDE that they need to know.
Okay, first of all, that it is supervised credit, and supervised credit simply means that we will not just dump the funds into your account. We're going to go step by step with you, phase by phase, whichever project, whether it is the productive sector or even a student loan, throughout the life of the loan, from implementation, especially at implementation, which is very, very critical, where you need to see that it gets off the ground. Every phase, we are there with you. We make sure that what you said you were going to do happens, right? That is one of the first things. With regard to the grace period, that implementation period is actually the grace period. So we make it comfortable for you. You will only pay interest based on what you have drawn down. So if it is within your implementation period, involves disbursements not to be completed within a full year, it means then that over that 1 year, every time you draw down, then your interest only is charged on interest only is due on what you've drawn down, right? So I think those could be like some of the more interesting aspects of it. It's the same with schools. When a student goes to school, they're there, and I simplify it, for 2 years by semester. So they draw down by semester. You start off with your first semester, say $1,200. You're paying $12 to $13 on that, and it grows until graduation, and 6 months after graduation before you start paying principal and interest. So those I think are some of the more interesting aspects. And of course, the technical assistance that is given throughout.
Yes,
the implementation.
just to touch on that as well, we take this time to mention that the service that SBDC Belize provides is free. So if you have an idea that you want to start a business, just with the initial idea, or if you have a business that's already started and you want to get into that process of developing your business plan so you can go to DFC to get a loan, come and visit us. We're right at the U.B compound.
No, tell me something. Some people at times maybe are intimidated. Like for example, let's say you have some grassroots person selling juices, making really good juices. The juices are popular, but it would never dawn on them that if they would walk to BELTRAIDE that they would get assistance. Maybe they say, oh, I know to wear no long sleeve shirt, I know got on no jacket like Mo's, and then people want to watch my face. Give them a sense that you really you judge people based on what they've been able to some history of what they've been able to do, as well as the idea and their seriousness about the idea. I mean, ultimately,
I can tell you this, that we have had several people just come in with an idea, and like what you said, somebody not wearing a suit, just out there, taxi people have come in saying they want assistance to repair their vehicle. The breeders have come in, and we look at the creditworthiness of that person, the character of that person, how feasible is their project. So everything with regards to how you look does not play a role. It has to do with the project and whether it's feasible, whether it can pay back itself, and like I said, the character of the person, right? We have to do a little interview with the person, and from that we can see whether this person is really a genuine businessman. No? I mean, we can get a lot out of the interview.
From time to time too, I mean, myself, I've seen people who who have small businesses and like the little vendors and people like that, and you see that they have a little bit of struggle, I would approach them and let them know, you know what, you could do even better. You could access financing from DFC, and you could grow your business even more with the assistance of BELTRAIDE. So we do make that approach to the grassroots people as much as possible. Right?
All right. And how can people you can just walk into BELTRAIDE, you can just walk into DFC?
Yes, we are on Coney Drive. You could just walk in there and ask to see a loans officer. We do appointments as well. If you don't want to be waiting in the lobby, you could call the receptionist and she will set an appointment for you. Whichever way works out, it's fine.
And you could just come in and bring questions, like
Yes.
just
Pitch your idea.
Yeah.
and have a discussion, and
Yeah.
you guys don't feel like the person
Not at all. Not at all.
interrupt on a busy schedule.
No.
We have people in place who take care of the questions.
Yeah.
Right?
So I could challenge listeners and viewers out there that they can go to DFC, they can go to BELTRAIDE, and they don't feel unwelcome.
Correct.
And if
You
anybody
can.
feel unwelcome, make them call me show right away.
That's
And
correct.
call out on it. Hey.
Yeah.
Nobody will feel unwelcome.
No, what we offer at SBDC Belize is we have a series of advisors. At this time, we have 2 and a director and an assistant as well. So we have an open door policy. You come in with just the idea, you don't have to bring anything. We'll schedule an advisory session with you with one of the advisors. They will go through the entire process with you, providing all the information that you will need.
All right. And it is the anniversary of DFC, any special.
Oh, lots of special
Tell me
things,
about the
man.
special stuff going on at DFC for this.
Okay,
51.
well, countrywide, let me just touch on one thing that we'll be rolling out starting that day is gathering information for the Easy Pay system.
Okay.
Because we are, since we're looking to go full online on our in-house systems, we're bringing it up to scratch. And so you will actually be, right now it's a third-party system that is happening where you pay to the bank and then the bank deposits to or transfers it to us. That doesn't have to happen anymore in terms of your monthly payment or even disbursements during the implementation period. By January, you should be able to have a pull-down menu with your bank that you deal with, whether it is Belize Bank, Heritage, Atlantic, Scotia Bank. We will be just like BEL and BTL, how they pay utilities. We will be a part of that pull-down menu where you'll be able to make your payments or receive disbursements from us. So we're doing that. So during Friday, or starting Friday, we will have the little cards for those clients that come to the office to be able to fill out. And we're socializing this as much as possible, where by January we'll be able to go full force with our online payments. And for that day, we have several raffles. We have raffles at each branch for $250 credited to your account. So you stand a chance to win $250. This is for clients who come to make a transaction, who come to make payments in the office. That's when you're handed a ticket and you're afforded that opportunity. And then a further opportunity with that same ticket to win a grand prize of $1,000. On Tuesday, that is being drawn, because what we're doing is we're having all the tickets brought to headquarters and then it's drawn on Tuesday. Also, we have cell phones at each branch being raffled, Samsung Duos, which is going to be drawn by the end of that day. So, and that is for all visitors who come to visit DFC. And we're doing our products and services during that day, so you could come and find out. Conversation will start outside, and then we'll move inside to the office or various offices. We're also, I mentioned before, we've invited several of our clients, I think up to like 14 clients countrywide, Belize City, Orange Walk, and Belmopan, where they will be displaying their products and services. And we've invited also the women's department who has female entrepreneurs, we're trying to ensure that we involve the female entrepreneurs being trained through women's department, and they could also become
SBDC
clients of SBDC as well, right? So those are some of the things that will be happening on that day countrywide. Right? Starting at 9 in the morning.
In addition to that,
until 3:30.
we will have sort of a coupon that if you apply on that day and you get your loans approved within, I believe it's 2 months, then you get a discount on your processing and your preparation fees.
And that really helps as well. The 50% off preparation and processing, man, you can't go wrong.
Happy birthday to the DFC.
Thank you.
Wish you all the best.
Thank you.
It's time for us to close off and wrap up for today. With health and strength, we're back here tomorrow morning at 6:30 for another edition of the Wake Up Belize Morning Vibes. We'd like to acknowledge our staff. Anthony Granted Krem, on camera audio, Mr. Cliff Lewis, our director, Edward Bart Sanchez. Belizeans, as always, have a great Thursday. Stand strong, stand firm. For now, we're gone!
The sun is shining. Wake up, Belize. Now the morning sun is shining over on Trade.